How's it going, everybody? My name's Dave Whipple and you're watching Bushradical. The other day I stopped at this little junk store in the middle of nowhere and bought a couple little items, and I got some good stuff. I got a cool old military shovel, probably World War II, for a $5 bill. And I bought a great old sharpening stone and a cool old pocket knife. So today I'm going to show you that stone, I'm going to show you that pocket knife. We're going to do a little quick restoration project. Stay with me. Okay, everybody, check this out. This is the sharpening stone I got. I mean, if this isn't old school, I don't know what is. And a super nice old Norton crystalline sharpening stone. It's got a little wear on the top side, but this other side is quite flat. A little brass latch, brass hinges. This thing's old school. Here's what we're gonna do our restoration on today. Check this dude out. This is a beautiful, old pocket knife. Now don't ask me what kind it is, because I've about went blind trying to read the writing and searching online trying to find it. The only problem with this knife, other than it needs to be cleaned up, is that. Oh man. This scale on the other side is all cracked and fragmented. Now what I did last night was I filled it all full of super glue. I super glued it all back to the steel behind it. So it's all solid now. All these little chips and fragments and cracks, they've all been filled with water-thin super glue. I'm going to fill this hole with epoxy. But first, let's get these blades cleaned up and get this knife dialed back in. I'm sure there's a right way and a wrong way to do this, but I'm just going to take this knife. Check these blades out. I mean, this is an old knife. Super cool. You can see the writing there, but don't bother trying to figure out what it is. I've spent the better part of a day at it, and I still don't know what the heck it is. First thing I'm going to do here is just try to get some of the dirt out of it. I'm no pro at this. I'm just going to give it a good squirt of some PB Blaster and work those two blades. Get them freed back up. Oh, that just made all the difference in the world right there. That's a good way to do it. Just working that joint back and forth. Got that PB Blaster in there, and I'll just let that joint get itself worked back out. Let me see, does it work? Oh yeah, got a good snap still. I'm no collector, but I know that means it's at least got some life in it. As you can see, this little blade's pretty rusty. So I'm just going to take some steel wool and dial that sucker in. This is a really cool old knife. I'm kind of getting a little more of a love for collecting old pocket knives. The reason is they're just cheap and they're everywhere. And the old stuff, you know, it's good steel. In case you're new to this channel, it won't take any time to figure out. This is a pretty old school channel. We're pretty old school here. I got the big blade here. So we're going to just clean these blades up a little more. Free them up just a little bit more. I'm going to wipe this thing down with a little acetone. We'll mix up some epoxy and finish filling that handle. I don't know the right way to do this, but I'm not a jackknife guy. This is such a cool old knife. I mean, you can tell it's just got mojo to it. It's obviously old, and I've never seen one exactly like it. We'll take a little piece of this stuff, and this is 150. Clean up the back. I just wanted to get the rust off the back. I wanted to get the inside of the knife cleaned out. I wanted to get the blades cleaned up and then sharpened. And then that's probably it. That's about all I want to do. I want a functioning old school pocket knife. This cost me $4 and it's worth way more than $4 in my book. Because it's old world quality. It's a good piece of gear. Just needs a little bit of love. Needs this, I guess, needs this cellulose handle all squared away. And we've done most of that with super glue. I'm going to fill this hole with some epoxy. That handle should be just fine. The steel on this, I mean, you can tell it's old carbon steel. It's good stuff. It's not a problem. But it's too bad both sides don't look the same, because that's just a simple, elegant, gorgeous old pocket knife. That's good enough. You know what, while I'm at it, I'm going to take that old sharpening stone, put a little bit of lube on there, and hone this blade. I wonder how long it's been since somebody used this guy. This isn't the right stuff, but you know, use what you got, right? There's hardly anything in the world I love more than to find a really high quality old tool, old piece of gear that's got the potential to be brought back. Just to take a few hours and to put something awesome and old back into service. I just love it. You know, if I could get paid to putter, I think that's what I'd do. I just get up in the morning and go to the garage and putter. Or go out to the barn and take old stuff and just... I like restoration. Always liked restoration. Yeah, I can't really get to this stone with this little blade. Just do it in my hands. Both these blades are in amazing shape. I couldn't find any information on this particular jackknife. So I don't know if the brand is a very rare, obscure brand that only was around for a while. I just don't know. One thing I do know is, I mean, you can just look at this thing and you can tell that it's quality. PB blaster. Well, you know, what do you use, right? Use what you got. Stone is all clogged up and crappy. I'm kind of grinding away all the... I should have just cleaned this stone before I started any of this. I'm going to smell like PB Blaster for a month. That'll do. Okay, so the last thing left to do, I'm going to clean this knife off. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of acetone, put it on a rag. I'm going to wipe all that PB Blaster off this knife, and then we'll mix up some epoxy, fill that handle, and we'll be done. A little bit of 2-part epoxy. Come on, get off there, Cap. Okay, that's enough. Stuff mixed up. We'll fill that handle. Epoxy to me always smells like dog poop. I don't know if it's just me or what, but every time I smell epoxy I think of dog poop. Hopefully that'll do. Hopefully this will dry clear. If not, I don't care. I want a knife that works. I don't really care about vintage this or, you know, the correct way of, you know, restoring something. I just want it to work. This is a knife. It's meant to cut stuff. And I don't really care if it's not properly restored the way an expert would do it. I'm not an expert. I'm just a dude who likes to mess with old stuff. So there you have it. The knife's pretty much done. I ended up taking and cleaning up the 2 bolsters on the end. Also this little spot of epoxy I put here in the middle. Before it was set, I used another knife to scrape it down nice and level so it was flush with the rest of this scale. Just a little bit of time, a little bit of penetrating oil, a little bit of steel wool. You can take an old tool like this and put it back into service. And there's something just satisfying about working with old quality tools and putting love back into something that might have been neglected for a few decades. I'll be happy to carry this knife around with me in my pocket and I'm pretty sure I can trust it, because I'll bet it's already 100 years old. If you have any thoughts or comments you'd like to add, please feel free to click on down below. If you haven't subbed to my channel before and you like what I'm doing, please take a second to hit the sub button and the little bell beside it so you can get updates of when I post videos, which I'll try to do quite often. My name's Dave Whipple. Thank you for watching Bushradical. And be radical, eh? See you soon.